Good morning, students. So, the topic for today's discussion is power factor. What is a power factor? Wow, how we calculate that? What is the formula? What if the power factor is less? What if the power factor is more? What is a leading power factor? What is a unity power factor? What is a lagging power factor? How can we improve power factor? So, all these things together we will be dealing in this session. So we will be looking at the causes of a low power factor, then what are its disadvantages, then the methods for power factor improvement, then the calculation of power factor correction, and then the economics of power factor improvements. Like if you're doing the power factor improvement, how much economic loss system becomes, such things we are dealing in this session. So power factor, as you know, it is the cosine of the angle. So it's a cosine of the angle. You know, cos theta, sine theta, trigonometry, you know. So the cosine of the angle between voltage and current in an AC circuit is called power factor. So if this is the voltage and this is the current I, then there is a phi, which is the angle between voltage and current. So cos phi or cosine of that value is what we call phi, a power factor, and phi is what we call phase difference. So the cosine of angle between voltage and current in an AC circuit. So only in an AC circuit we have this concept of power factor and phase difference on, because in DC there is no phase difference, so there is no point of talking about power factor, right? Also we have one another formula, that is a power factor is equal to real power or active power, or which is the useful power divided by apparent power or the total power, and by formula it is kW by kVA, that is kilowatt by kilovolt ampere, that is active power by reactive power, sorry, active power by apparent power, that is cos phi. By formula it is P by S. Or these things are coming in detail. First, initially I'm giving you an introductory section. So the power factor can be leading, lagging, or unity. It all depends upon the type of the load used, whether you are using resistance or you're using capacitance or you're using inductor. So the power factor can be leading, lagging, or depending upon the value of the load. So an ideal power factor, for an ideal power factor, the value is 1, because we always want power factor to be unity, because close to unity, because that time the losses will be very less and it can be more economical. But practically it is not possible, as most of the loads are inductive in nature. So what is an inductive load, capacitor, all we are coming in the, we'll check out in the next sessions. So practically the value of power factor ranges from 0.7 to 0.9. So this is the case of resistive load, inductive load, and capacitive load. As I told you, the load can be resistance, or it can be an inductor or capacitive load. So in case of a resistive load, the power factor will be unity, because you see here the voltage and current are in phase. Current magnitude will be less because current is voltage by resistance, so some value will be less. But you can see that they are achieving the maximum and minimum at the same phase. They are doing it all together. One is not going ahead or one is not behind. So here the phase difference is 0. So you know that phase difference is 0 means cos 0 is 1. So we can say that power factor is unity here. And in case of an inductive load, we call it as a lagging power factor. Why lagging power factor? Because current is lagging here. Voltage will be ahead and current is lagging, because the voltage it started here itself, but the current is still not started after 90 degree or whatever. It is after some phase difference only it is starting. So here phase difference phi is not 0. And similarly, in case of a leading power factor, means the current will be leading. So current is well ahead, because voltage is 0. Here current is not 0. So current value is already there. So it is leading the voltage. So resistive load, inductive load, and capacitive load. An example of resistive load is lamps, CFL, LED lamps, and all. They are all resistive load, because they just, what we do, we have a filament, we'll put on the light, the filament will burn, and according to Joule's law of heating, we'll H square I square RT. So we'll get the output power. That's all resistive. But here it is inductive load. Inductive load, as I told you, we have it in the ceiling fan, induction motor. Wherever we have a motor, anything made up of inductor, we call it inductive load, and inductive load result in lagging power factor. And in case of a capacitive load, means it's leading, because current is leading, and we normally use capacitor bank and all to increase the power factor, improve the power factor. So here voltage is in phase with the current, here voltage is leading the current, and here voltage is lagging current. Okay. And for an inductive load, the value of phi increases. Okay. And for a leading power factor, why we need a leading power factor? Because the power consumed is very less. And this is diagram. We have the resistive load. Here we have the inductive load. Here we have the capacitive load. So in case of a unity power factor, like a resistive load, the power is equal to P is equal to VI cos phi, which is actually the real power or the active power. Here the phase difference between voltage and current is zero. And what in case of an inductive load? Inductive load, the current, the power consumed or the current is very more. That's why it is very undesirable. And this is the diagram. Here we have the concept of reactive power. If the load is not resistive, reactive power, that is denoted by Q, kVAR, volt ampere reactive, it comes into effect. So this is actually for capacitive load. So this just you need to compare, like what are the examples in the three cases, and what is the waveform we get, and which is unity power factor, which one is lagging, which one is leading. So that's just a comparison. We are coming in detail in the next sessions. So now you should consider an inductive load. We know that for an inductive load, the current will be lagging. The voltage will be this, and the current will be lagging. So by resolution, we can resolve the current I in like adjacent side will be I cos phi, and this we know that cos phi means active power or useful power. So I cos phi is the active or the wattful current, and I sin phi is the reactive or wattless. So the power corresponding to I cos phi into voltage, that the current the power corresponding to that will be the wattful power, which is active power, and this one is I sin phi, which is the reactive power, and you can see that it is 90-degree out of phase with voltage. So here we can say that the measure, so this will be I cos phi and this will be I sin phi. This is by trigonometry, we are resolving the vector. So the measurement of power factor is dependent on the value of I sin phi. You can see that this is the phase difference phi, and power factor is cos phi. So if phi is less, means I into sin phi is less. You see, so we can typically say that the power factor, how much is the power factor, depends upon this value I sin phi. So if you are reducing this, means the phi will be less. You see, so the value of phi, if it is becoming less, means cos phi will be more, because cos 0 is 1. So we need the phi value to be less, so that that phi value will be more. So it reaches unity, approaches unity, it reaches 0.8, 0.9 values. Okay, so if phi is less, I sin phi is less, in that case cos phi will be more, because phi is becoming less. Example, like if a power factor is given as 0.8, it will be a resistive one, because it is unity. So or else it should be mentioned like leading power factor or lagging power factor, just to understand. It can also be right in terms of percentage, 80%. Okay, and this is the power triangle. So this is actually the power triangle, and where we write it like the VI cos phi will be active power, and VI sin phi, which is reactive power. Its unit is kilowatt, denoted by P. Reactive power is Q, unit is kVA, and apparent power is denoted by S, V into I, and its formula is VAR. Okay, and this is the representation. That's just for you to remember. If you consider a full bottle full of water, then 3/4 of this bottle it is considered as completely as apparent power. Then the major portion where water is there, it is VI cos phi, which is the active power, and where water is less, which is Q, it is reactive power, VI sin phi. So this reactive power we actually desire to be very less, as it is of no use. It is just circulating in the circuit and it maintains the field. We need it to maintain the field, so that the motor will rotate and all. We need a reactive power, but for useful work, but it is not of any use. The useful work, everything is done by the active power, which is VI cos phi, kW, denoted by P. This one, the adjacent side. Okay, so power factor is kW by kVA, which is active power into active by apparent power, P by S. So this power triangle can also be represented as impedance triangle, because we know impedance into voltage or square of the current will give you power. So this is the same representation. VI cos phi So we can say that, see, this is cos phi is equal to r by z, adjacent side by hypotenuse. If you are multiplying both side by I square, then this becomes I square r by I square z, which is active power by apparent power, P by S. So they are just equivalent circuits only. Now we will come to the disadvantages of low power factor. So we know that for a single phase power is given by V into I into cos phi. That is, power is equal to VL into IL into, that is line voltage into line current into cos phi for a one phase. So those who are not familiar with this equation, I shall discuss this equation later. Now just understand that for a single phase power, P is equal to VL into IL into cos phi. Maybe you might have learned this equation in your previous classes. So we can write that IL is equal to P by VL into cos phi. That is, if IL increases, that is IL is proportional to 1 by cos phi. That is, if power factor decreases, IL increases. That is, if the power factor is kept low, we need more load current. So more current means more electricity bill. Similarly, for a three-phase supply, P is equal to root 3 into VL into IL into cos phi. That is a three-phase power. That is, IL is equal to P by root 3 into VL into cos phi. So IL is proportional to 1 by cos phi. It is proportional to 1 by 5. Same. So those who are new with this equation, I shall explain to you later this equation, or I think you might have studied it in your previous session. This is for a three phase. So three phase means we multiplied by root 3. So you understood that for both single phase and three phase, we need a high power factor. Low power factor means it results in more current. That means larger KVA rating of equipment. So that is, if power factor is less, we need larger KVA ratings. KVA means apparent power. So usually we not machines by power transformer or induction motor generator. Everything we denote by using KVA, apparent power. So equipment becomes bulky and increases the power. You see what is happening because of a larger KVA rating, which is a result of low power factor. And we also need great conductor size because resistance is proportional to L by S. So conductor size is more means that is depending upon resistance is more means current is less. So more cost and material is required. And the copper loss, if you are not familiar with copper loss means it's a type of loss happening in machines. Its value is given by I square into R. So power factor is less means more current. More current means current will be more. So I square into R value will be more. So larger copper loss. And also pure voltage regulation. Voltage regulation means when the current is flowing means there will be voltage drops. Because of the low power factor, there will be voltage drop. As a result, the available voltage at the receiving end will be very less. So that results in pure efficiency. That's poor voltage regulation. You don't have to study what is voltage regulation and all. And reduced handling capacity of the system. Overall system is becoming too bulky means it is because of the reduced handling capacity. Then some other points for disadvantages, some other disadvantages are, so we need additional power for reactive element, because you see whenever if there is a reactive element, it means some power is used for the reactive power element, sin phi component, right? So we need additional power for that. Then also we have some voltage drop also. And then as I explained, for voltage regulation and all it is affecting. Then we have the power factor penalty. If power factor is less, most of the industries, they are given a penalty and they're asked to improve their power factor. So in order to improve the power factor, we use some techniques. The most common technique used is use of capacitor banks. So we know that most of the circuits are inductive in nature, so the power factor will be very less. So inductive load results in reactive power, which is of no use. This results in decreased efficiency. So you see, we have the RL circuit, inductive circuit is there. So we are introducing a capacitor in parallel, or we call it shunt. Capacitor is introduced in parallel to improve the power factor. So the reactive power is used by the reactive element, but it is very much required, I told you already, to maintain the magnetic field. So see this figure. This is the, already I think I explained this. This is the voltage, this is the current. So this is the power factor phi1. So if you are introducing the capacitor, means current IC will flow through the capacitor and that current will be leading the voltage. As a result, the resultant will be shifted to this side, become current I become I dash. So we have I dash sin phi, I dash cos phi. So different values will be there. and as a result, flux is phi, what we call the phase difference is decreasing, and power factor is improved. This is the same figure in a different way I am talking. So you see here we have the impedance XL here, and when the capacitor is connected in parallel, it will be in the opposite direction, because capacitor means voltage will be leading, current will be leading, so XC will be there. So X is equal to XL minus those. So this is the extra amount of that is, this is the compensation given for the reactive power. So that is will be equal to X is equal to XL minus X. So the amount of extra capacitance that we need to use is XL minus X, which is R into tan phi 1 minus tan phi 2. Applying cross multiplying and using the trigonometry concept, you will get this. So R into tan phi 1 minus tan phi 2. So also we have one equation, X is equal to 1 by 2 pi FC. So from this we can calculate the amount of capacitance required. Yes, okay. So power factor improvement, this is a similar type of question. This is same concepts only. Like here we are taking tan phi 1 means it is AB by OA, opposite side by adjacent side. So AB is equal to OA tan phi 1. So how that is derived I am saying. And tan phi 2 is AC by OA. So AC is equal to OA tan phi 2. So KVR supplied is equal to AB minus AC. You see? So OA is equal to tan phi 1 minus tan phi 2. So KW is equal to tan phi 1 minus tan phi 2. Very important equation. Okay. It's a very important equation. So let's see one problem. We have an alternator which is supplying a load of, alternator means just like it's a machine. We have a machine. You see, a machine. I already told you a machine is there. So it can have lagging or leading power factor. It's actually the load. So an alternator is supplying a load of 300 kilowatt at power factor of 0.6 lagging. So we understood that it is inductive and it is 0.6 lagging. So if the power factor is raised to unity, so power factor is brought from cos phi is equal to 0.6 to 1. How many more kilowatt can alternator supply for the same kVA loading? So the power factor is becoming close to unity means we don't need to waste time for the reactive element. So that also can be used as useful power, kW, right? So you see we have cos phi is equal to 0.6. So and 300 kilowatt, sorry, it is 300, not 30. 300 kilowatt will be the active power, and we have like how many more kilowatt can be used by the alternator? That's the question. So we can you have this equation cos phi is equal to kW by kVA. From that we calculate the apparent power, that is kVA is equal to 300 by 0.6, which is 500 kilowatt. So we understood we had 300 kilowatt, and when like the apparent power is actually 500 kilowatt. So its power factor is increased from 0.6 to 1. So 500 minus 300, 200 kilowatt for more power the alternator can supply. So I'm telling in terms of kW. The question is how much kilowatt is asked. So 200 kilowatt more the alternator can supply if the power factor is brought to unity. Understood? Because cos phi is, power factor is unity means cos phi is 1. Okay. Fine. Now this is one of the important question. I think in this question was asked in previous year university exam also. So it's like a single phase motor connected to 400 volt 50 Hz. So motor means any equipment we want to increase the power factor. So just understand it like that only. Connected to 400 volt 50 Hz supply takes 31.7 ampere at a power factor of 0.7 lagging. So lagging, it is lagging. Calculate the capacitance required in parallel with the motor to raise the power factor to 0.9 lagging. Okay. So 400 volt 50 Hz. So capacitance is, so this is the motor. Motor means R into L. Motor means it is an induction motor. So it has an inductor. Resistance and everything is there. That's the way you should understand it. So here it is given cos phi 1 is equal to 0.7. So from that we can calculate phi 1. listen very carefully. This question will come for your exam. So phi 1 is cos inverse of 0.7. So we calculated that value. Then you see it is improved from 0.7 to 0.9. So phi 2 is cos inverse of 0.9, which is 25.84. That also we calculated. Now you see we have voltage is there. Initially it was phi 1. We named it as IM, and then it became phi 2 because we did some calculate some capacity element was introduced in parallel, and that power factor of phase shift reduced to phi t and phi 2, and power factor was improved to 0.9. So here we can calculate IM cos phi. IM cos phi 1 we can calculate. So IM is given as 31.7 ampere. Its supply takes 31.7 ampere at 0.7. So 0.7 at that time it is 31.7. So cos phi 1 we calculate as 31.7 into 0.7. That we got. Then I cos phi 2 also we can calculate. Right? I cos phi 2 also we can calculate, which is 22.19, because they are both same. IM cos phi and I cos phi 2, they are all same because they are all adjacent side of the triangle. Right? So from that we can